America now can be taken from within by an insidious force that must be exposed and uncovered. But I'll be damned if you will take black America down. By the help of Almighty God, we intend to free our people from this insidious force and power that is misdirecting our lives.
I have said it many times that we don't have many heroes anymore. Most of our heroes are no more, or most of them has grown. The new generation, we hardly have heroes because now everybody is amassing wealth and worshiping the wealth of the world. So we don't have much heroes. That is why we have been focusing on the old heroes' message, what they said and what they have been saying. That's why I've been sharing a lot of videos about Minister Louis Farrakhan. Many won't understand, but since I came across his videos, it has changed my perspective about how I look through the lens of politics and how I should also use my voice to empower black people. And that is what we have been doing here. I've come across another video from Minister Louis Farrakhan, very interesting one. I want us to watch this video. I will be back.
The United States of America, the greatest nation on earth, invincible to any outside force, is now vulnerable because of an internal rot and corruption. This, the greatest nation in the history of the world in the last 6,000 years, has been wrapped up and made ready for takeover. Not a takeover with weapons of war, but a takeover because the American people have been put soundly to sleep. And decadence and immorality is spreading over America like a plague. Right, sir. The educational system has been destroyed. Right. A brilliant nation that can send men and women to outer space to correct a telescope, but can't get students out of high school with a 30% functional illiteracy. Young people unable to read. How long can America maintain supremacy when her educational system is in revolution against itself? And since education is the torchlight of civilization, when an educational system is in decline, the civilization that it represents is also in decline. The morality of the country has gone at the speed of light to the depth of a bottomless pit. When we think we have reached a lowest depth, we find there's still no bottom to the low moral character that is growing now among the American people, and it has and is becoming a way of life. The people are not listening anymore to their preachers of moral correctness. There's a subtle move to destroy the influence of religion in the society. The attack on religious leaders is not meant to show up corruption in certain religious leaders, but it is meant to undermine people's faith and confidence in that which gives them moral direction. The attack on Cardinal Bernardine is not an attack on Bernardine. The showing up of immoral priests is not just an attack on those immoral priests. It is an attack on the church itself. Why? Because there's a vested interest in destroying that which can represent moral correctness to the people. And when you don't know anymore what is right or what is wrong, and you begin to set up your own standard of morality and decency, and God has no say-so anymore in your life, then the country is wrapped up, as one prophet said, and made ready for the slaughter. America now can be taken from within by an insidious force that must be exposed and uncovered. But I'll be damned if you will take black America down. By the help of Almighty God, we intend to free our people from this insidious force and power that is misdirecting our lives. Go ahead. The attack on Michael Jackson by the media is a wicked thing. If in a country that prides itself in the most advanced system of jurisprudence, a man is presumed innocent until proved guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Here's a brother that has not been charged with a criminal offense. Here's a brother that has given away millions and millions of dollars to charities, to youth. Here's a brother that has entertained and marveled human beings across the world, and you treat him like a piece of paper that has been used to wipe yourself, and you're ready to throw it in the garbage pail. Go ahead. Personally, I sense a conspiracy. Personally, I sense that somebody feels that Michael may be going in a direction that the world can't take. Personally, I feel that there may be a thought in mind that Michael the billionaire may use his money for constructive purposes as he becomes more politically conscious, and America and the powers that be cannot stand to see Michael Jackson politically conscious, politically awake, morally mature, and using his money for the advancement of his people. Why would you handle him that way? You didn't handle your own people that way. You covered the wickedness of your presidents. You cover the mistresses of your presidents, the homosexuality of your great leaders. But you expose Michael Jackson to international ridicule. And he's judged as guilty. Michael Jackson is no dope fiend. But he puts his trust in the wrong people who were feeding him morphine and painkillers. Whether you like it or not, I'm a defender of black people. And when I see the world ganging up on my brother, I think it's time for us to say, cut this foolishness out. Leave that man alone and stop using him for ratings points on your sinking news show. Stop using him. He's a gentle brother. He's a sweet brother. I don't know anything about whether he's guilty or not. But it seems to me that if he has been with so many children, you would get more than one and then a half-baked. I saw my son sitting on his lap. You want to hang him by innuendo. You want to hang him on the base of circumstantial evidence. You want to weaken him and make him bow down. But you'll find out that there's more to Michael than what you think. I just thought I would say that. A young black man got on the Long Island Railroad the other day. And went off and shot down 6 Caucasian people and wounded many more. It is sad to see innocent people cut down. But America has to look and ask yourself the question, what is driving the American people insane? Where my black brother will shoot down 6 and your own Caucasian brother will stand in a tower in Texas and shoot down several. Your own brother will go into a fast food place and kill some more. Your own family members going off in the post offices across the nation. What is driving the American people crazy? How does the violence start? And more importantly, what can we do to stop it? Is building more prisons the answer? Is hiring more police the answer? According to Newsday newspaper, 2 days ago, it read 42% of the population of New York City was victimized by crime last year. So crime is on the minds of the American people, particularly white people. So anybody who says we're going to be tough on crime, tough on criminals, can get a vote. Because the code word being tough on crime and tough on criminals means underneath being tough on black people. Because the way we are being positioned, we are, according to the way we're being positioned, the top criminals in the American society. Well, I'm going to take issue with that this afternoon, and I would like to deal with the origin of crime and violence, the origin of the madness, how it has escalated to the point where it is today, and how only God has the power to step in and bring this decadence to a halt. I hope and pray that I can get it over to you in a short amount of time. But you know, it's really something to hear white folk on television talking about how terrible it is that there's so much violence, when America seems to have a love affair with violence. This is one of the only nations on earth that in its own national anthem and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. You love war. Everything you have achieved it through artifice, cunning, and violence. America is yours today because of crime and violence. Black people are yours today because of crime and violence. South America, the Caribbean, Africa, the Isles of the Pacific have been your playground because of crime and violence. It is so sad that the little criminals, cheap thieves, cheap hustlers who are trying to survive from day to day, are the ones that are focused on, while the real criminals that are in high places, dressed in fine suits and speaking in beautiful language, are hiding their criminal activities behind the legalities of government rhetoric and international law. In the Bible it says, we war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. So if you really want to stop crime, America, you have to stop it at the top. And then let righteousness and justice flow down the mountain like a mighty stream, but if you don't stop it at the top, you can't stop it at the bottom, because the bottom is a reflection of what's going on at the top. You know, brothers and sisters, every human being can be violent under the right circumstances. There's not one of you peaceful and loving and kind persons in this audience that could not and would not resort to violence under certain circumstances. There is in human development an animal side to the human being. The animal side, or the animalistic nature of the human being, is only put in check by moral consciousness. And the most highly developed form of human being is the spiritual-minded person whose moral consciousness, spiritual consciousness, and intellectual maturity causes that person to discipline the lusts of the flesh. But when there is no moral consciousness and no spiritual consciousness, then human beings, so-called, are not yet human. They are degenerate, and they travel and act on the plane of the beasts of the field. It is not an accident that the Bible begins in Genesis with a serpent and ends in the book of Revelation with a dragon and 4 great beasts. The prophets of God, in their symbolic language, did not even refer to us as human beings. They referred to the powers that rule the world as beasts. And the people under the rule of these great powers, the scripture said, had the mark of a beast in their forehead and in their hands. And if the words of Jesus are correct, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think the thoughts of a beast, you will commit the acts of a beast. So humanity is dead in the world, and violence permeates every society on the earth. But America, the greatest of all the nations, is the most violent nation on earth. Of all the nations, the best system of communication, the best system of transportation, the best roads, the best infrastructure. America, the finest hospitals. America, the leading dope consumer in the world. What's wrong with America? What's wrong with the society? That the people in America consume more drugs than any other nation on earth. What's wrong? That over 70 million Americans have tried drugs, and most of them are now addicted. 70 million is more than several nations in the United Nations. So inside America, if you have 70 million drug addicts, the core of America is rotten. Go ahead. And you Our entertainers, look how degenerate you have become. In the 1960s, the sisters called themselves the Supremes. In the 1990s, they're bitches with problems and whores with attitudes. And this is acceptable behavior to you. Our artists can grind away on the stage, on MTV. Our children and grown-ups watching it hour after hour after hour, watching our women half nude, bumping and grinding like animals. And the world is looking at you, and you're playing right into the hands of those who say that black people in America are nothing but a bunch of animals, and the world would be better off if they were rid of all black people. All of you movie producers, you like to produce films that depict the reality of life in the ghetto. But what you don't realize, you don't have the money to produce it. You don't have the money to distribute it. That's right. You just make a film and a product, and somebody sees what they can do with it. That's right. And then they spread you all over the world in your ugliness. And it justifies in the minds of the world's people your destruction. And now the level of violence in our community has become so great that some of our own mayors are asking for the National Guard to come in to bring some semblance of control. What produced this? Our young people have a love for guns. When I was younger, John Wayne and Hopalong Cassidy and Roy Rogers, we'd see them with their six-shooters, and we would go home and want to get a six-shooter. You know how we did. But when we went out in the street to play, we didn't go out in the street with a gun. The best we had was a little switchblade that we used occasionally. Today, 22% of those polled in 10 urban high schools, according to the Justice Department, 22% of our children in 10 urban high schools said they own a weapon. Yes, yes. Now, the Brady Bill is nice, that you can go to a store and you have to wait a week until they check you out to see if you're black or white. Or wrong or right. And then you can have a gun. But you know, our high school children are not going to a gun store. Illegal weapons are flooding the black community, are being sold to our babies. And our babies have a feeling that when I get this gun, I'll be all right. In yesterday's post, it said that the brothers say when they get a gun, they just feel good.
Think about that. Think about it.
Stephanie sings a song, I feel good all over. And the brothers are saying, when I have my peace, I feel good all over. I saw a young brother on television, and a white reporter was asking him, how do you feel when you have the weapon? He said, and I quote, I feel invincible.
Think about that. Think about it.
Things have gotten so bad till the brothers now are going in the church. The preacher talking about the power of Jesus. And the brothers say, here's the real power, baby. Get down out the pulpit. Made the man come out of his pulpit. Made him bow down on the floor in front of his congregation. Robbed the church. Shot the preacher. Reverend, the people begin to feel that preachers are just gangsters with robes on. The people are beginning to feel that preaching Jesus is big business, that belief has gone out of it. And the real aim of Jesus Christ, which was to transform human life, is no longer present in religion, but it's how much money we take up, how many cars we drive, how many women we have in the name of God. So the people see religious people as hustlers and pimps. So sticking up churches is like robbing banks. How did all of this get so crazy? Where did it start? Our children are so cold. They don't have conscience. They can shoot their own brother down and don't feel any sense of remorse.
Think about that.
And you say this is a tough generation. But you and I produced it. That's the fruit from our tree. So if something is wrong with the fruit, don't check the fruit. Let's check the tree. And if you would be bold enough to take a critical look at our own madness as parents and as adults, then you will all have to agree that from the leadership all the way down, we need guidance, we need correction, we need an awakening that we might awaken our people. The times are so pitiful that I went to the Bible just before coming, and I was trying to find a verse that described the madness. In the Old Testament it says that a time of trouble will be coming, like there never was since there was a time and a nation.
Think about that.
Are we in that time of trouble? In the New Testament, Paul says Know this, that in the last days, perilous times will come. Here's how he describes the people in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, but treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Paul says of people like that, Christians have nothing to do with them.
Right.
Well,
Right.
is that an accurate description
Yes, it is.
of what's in the world in which we live? Do you realize that we have come to the apex now of lawlessness? The apex. But it all began like we did, with a small life germ, but evolved to the criminality and violence that we see on the earth today.
What a powerful video from Minister Louis Farrakhan. These are some of his numerous videos that we have been bringing on this channel that will empower you and also enlighten you about the political situation in US and also other Western countries that is being used to suppress blacks and other race. And what I've realized is Minister Louis Farrakhan teaching don't only focus on religion, but massive or huge part of his teachings normally focus on black empowerment. So most of the times he touches many things that are affecting the black community, not only about what the whites or what the Western are using to suppress the black people, but also what the blacks are also using to suppress themselves through indoctrinations that has been given to them to use it against themselves. And this is what the minister has been trying to liberate people's mindset and how they can change to do better. As it stands, the systemic racism is going to be difficult to decode it, or it's going to be difficult for people to, convince the people in power to change their ways or to disarm the racism that happens in US. It's going to be difficult. So this minister has used his voice, has used his platform to make sure he fights. And he's still fighting for the black Americans. Not only black Americans, but Africans, Chinese, Indians, and everyone who is being suppressed by the American system. Please, if you want to join my Telegram group, go to my description box, click on the link, it will take you straight to the platform. Join us for us to discuss about the well-being of Africa and Africans in diaspora. And if today is your first time coming to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching. I'm always your guy, The Grafts. I'm Waku.